Hey guys, Thomas here from FastTrackFBA, and today I am joined by Daniel Gillmore, who is a fellow Amazon seller like myself. Now, there is something very special about Daniel and his journey, which we'll get to in a minute. But first of all, Daniel, can you just introduce yourself and tell everyone a little bit about yourself, please?
Hi, Thomas. Thank you very much for having me on your show. It's a huge pleasure and honor. My name is Daniel Gillmore, or known as on Facebook as Daniel Gillmore. I've been a RA and OA seller for the past 3 years now. So I'm doing FBA mostly, yeah.
Fantastic. And if you don't mind me asking, just you're where are you based at the moment?
Where am I based?
Yeah, where are you based now?
I'm based in Leeds, the UK.
Fantastic. Okay, so Leeds based. Now, one question I want to ask you, and this kind of, should we say, gives everyone an insight into why I'm obviously interviewing you today, is last year, how much revenue did you do?
Last year I did around £82,500 in revenue.
Interesting.
Yeah.
82 and a half. So let me ask you a question. Does that 82 and a half have a special meaning? You know, why 82 and a half? And if so, why?
Mostly to avoid paying VAT. I try to keep my business very easy and lightweight, as I would say, to minimize the amount of time and effort I need to put in, and give myself a lot of freedom, because I like to have a lot of time and I don't like to waste a lot of time on my business. So I try to stay under the £85,000 threshold to not deal with the VAT and expand the business and having more headache and putting more work into it. That's really the reason why.
Fantastic. And hey, so I'll just stop for a moment. And if anyone's watching this video and asking, you know, Daniel Gillmore here is doing, 83, just below £85,000. You know, he's not a big seller. And everyone in the Amazon game is talking about growing big, 6 figures, 7 figures. And here's Daniel doing 5 figures. And you might kind of be a bit confused. But there's something very, very interesting. It's the fact that in our Amazon business in the UK, we have VAT, value-added tax. Now, when you're under the value-added tax, the amount of administration you've got to do, the amount of legwork you've got to do is not too much. It's quite easy to run the business, so you can do it. But the moment you step over that £85,000, the administration you've got to do, the amount of work you've got to do in your business really starts to grow, starts to come a lot more. Now, interesting enough, Daniel took the, should we say, controversial decision or interesting decision to literally stop selling below the VAT threshold and not go through it. And today, I really want to understand about that decision, that process, that journey, and how it's affected him, his life, and his business. So can I just say from me and anyone watching this, Daniel, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for sharing your journey today.
Thank you.
So just take me back to the beginning, tell me about the beginning of your Amazon journey. How did you get started and why Amazon?
So yeah, as I said, I've been doing it for 3 years. In my first year, I was introduced by a friend of mine, and he said, do you want to make a couple of pounds here and there? It's very easy, this module. And I was like, I'm not sure, because again, I was so worried about all the admin work and all that stuff. And he said, no, just give it a go. Just go to Argos, buy something cheap and sell it. And so I followed that simple strategy by sourcing through mostly RA at the beginning, just because it was easy, cheaper, quicker, etc. So in my first year, I did, I think, below, I can't remember, 3,500 in profit, which at the time was like, whoa, easy money, In my second year, I thought, okay, I'm going to invest a little bit more money, so reinvest my profits and see where, I can go. I think in my second year, I did £7,500 in profit. Again, keeping it RA, OA based. But Q4 really changed my mind because, as you know, Q4 is absolutely crazy. And in my second year, Q4, I was like, okay, this can be something, And then so in my third year, I decided to look into the whole business as a whole. And I was like, okay, how can I minimize my time and effort, but make more money and still stay under that threshold. So I took the 85, divided it by 12 months, gave myself a figure, and then I said, okay, which months I can do more, which months I can do less. So Q4, last year did about 20, 25, I think. So I took that figure off the 85, let's say, and then I'm left with 60 grand, and then 60 grand divided by roughly, 8-9 months, whatever it is. And that's the way I worked it out. And I've been following that for the last 12 months, and it's been phenomenal because I only spend maybe 5 hours a week tops on my business. So in the past 12 months, that's what I've been averaging around, maybe 10 hours a month, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less. So, and very simple way.
And hey, first things first, thank you for sharing. And that's really interesting. You talked about, we all talk about, revenue that we're doing, and you're talking about profit. And in my business, I've got VAs, I've got a lot of costs. So my profit percentage is a lot less than yours. But, you're talking about 3K in the first year, 7.5 profit. And this is, if I clarify, this is money you're taking home. Once business costs are done, expenses are done, you're taking this money home. And then obviously in last year, your revenue, so this isn't profit, this is sales, by the way. You talked about it before, it was about 83, around that. So really, really interesting and really eye-opening. So let me just ask you the question, why did you say, obviously you're growing, you're making money, you're seeing success of Amazon, why not go through that barrier? Why stop?
Time that it requires, I think. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to grow the business. I know I can do it. I don't think it's for me. It's not a difficult job to do, but I don't like to put all my money in one place. So I do other things where I invest my money, which probably produces more profit than Amazon. So not bragging anything like this, but it's the balance that I'm trying to figure out and see. Okay, what can I have on the side, like a side hustle, aka FBA, that can cover my cost of living, etc., etc., and it requires very little of my time. So that's why I stuck with it. If I go over, that means I need to do, 5, 6, 7 times more in revenue, potentially. Because if you want to go above the threshold, you don't want to slow down, do you? You want to keep going because, well, you have to pay more, you have to do more, etc. And I don't really want to waste a lot of time, at least at the moment. I'm enjoying my free time, working 10 hours a month. And, what I did in my third year, I did £18,500 profit. So working for, I don't know how many hours a year is that, 200-300 hours, I'm not sure. And earning that sort of money, I think it kind of proves its point as to why I didn't go over. I do have some plans ahead, maybe potentially to go over, but it all depends on the circumstances and my time and the need of going over. Yeah.
Fantastic. And if anyone's watching this, is kind of say that we all get to that point in our business, where you constantly keep growing, and you do get to that point whereby it starts becoming the VAT question. I'm looking like I'm going to go over the VAT threshold in my business. Okay, well, what happens? If I even just say today alone, I've had a conversation with someone who said, "Do I go flat rate? Do I go full VAT?" Standard rate VAT. So can I ask you, just when you're looking at that, you were looking at the possibility of going over into VAT, what were you considering? What was going through your mind, to say, do I do it or do I not? What were you exploring?
First of all, I would need a lot more capital to invest, because I think with the currently I've invested about between £5,000 and £7,000 a month. So I keep around that much stock in my inventory every single month, So in order for me to grow my business, I need to put another 10, 20, maybe £30,000 at least in stock to maintain and grow the business at a slow rate. So I'm thinking, okay, is it really worth to put all the money into this business and then keep growing it or not? so I was exploring that set of sides of the capital. And then secondly, as I said, my time, how much time I would need to put into the business, because at the moment I'm prepping everything myself. So do I want to continue prepping, or do I need to go to prep centers, etc.? Then again, that's going to take about 10-15% of my profits, or my net profit. No, not net profit, gross. And then I spoke to somebody again as well about the possibility and what were their experience of getting that registered. And they just said it's an absolute headache, because with Amazon being Amazon, the whole concept, it is a little bit difficult to do your numbers, costs, revenue, etc. So I was like, I don't really want to be in that state of mind. I like being happy. And I am very happy at the moment. I've got a lot of free time, and I'm like, do I really want to do it? I guess it sounds very lazy, but I choose happiness and freedom more than the money, or the possibility of making a lot more money.
Yeah, and fantastic. And I think, I ask this question of everyone is, don't just jump into Amazon and start going, right, I'm going to make $1 million or £1 million. That's just pointless. The question comes is, what's your why? Why are you doing this? And for you, and hey, well done to you. You've thought about that and said, yeah, there are people doing more money than me, but I'm happy just having my time. I want some money that's coming in that's going to work for me. And hey, you said you're doing £18,500 in profit, not revenue, but profit on 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week. What the hell? That is crazy. Oh, sorry, 10 hours a month. Oh my God. Okay, this is outrageous. Right. Okay, I want to do a quick little calculation with you, because, okay, and the reason is I always talk to people about, what's your time worth? How much is your time actually worth? We talk about like outsourcing prep, et cetera, and it's all about how much your time is worth. But if you're making £18,500 a year and you're doing 10 hours a month worth of work, your time's pretty valuable, like really, really valuable. So I'm going to get my calculator out right now. So what are we doing? We're doing 12 months in a year, right? 10 hours a month. Do you do any more like Q4? You said it was a bigger revenue.
Yeah, so Q1, I don't work at all. And then Q4, I'd work maybe between 10 and 20 hours a week at most. Okay, so
if you said 15, so for Q4, 3 months, 15 hours. So that's 15 hours, that's 45 hours. And then for the remaining 9 months, one of them you don't work, that's 8 months, so that's 10 hours.
So for example, if I give you the last quarter, the last year, for example, so this January, February, March, I didn't work at all. So I didn't do any sourcing or prepping. I started doing sourcing and prepping in April. So I'm not saying that that's going to be, like I said, every year, but based on this year. So January, February, and March, I didn't work at all. And then now I average around 10 hours to 15 hours a month.
My God. Hey, and look, and this is it. This is the question that comes back, is about what's your why and why are you doing it? And again, it's what's your time worth? I'm sure there are people out there who are doing their Amazon business who are earning below minimum wage, and you're like, you might as well just go get a job, because at least you can have holiday with a job. Whereas with this, Amazon, you're investing money and you're not even earning that great return. So I've done some quick sums here. So Q4, you work 45 hours. That's 3 months at 15 hours a month. That's 15 hours a week. Is that right? You do 15 hours a week.
Sorry, 10 to 15 a week. Yeah. Q4. Okay,
so 15 hours a week, and that's 12 weeks. So let's just do that. 12 times 15. Oh, let me do that again. 12 times 15, so that's 180 hours over Q4. And then you're doing what, 10 hours a week? A month, for what, 8 months?
Yeah, roughly, yeah.
So that's plus 80. So that's 180 plus 80. That's 260 hours you've worked. Now you're earning £18,500, and then divided by your hours, 260. You're earning £71 an hour. That's like lawyer territory, £71 an hour? Oh my God. So, interesting enough, it's like every single hour you work, you're like, that's 70 quid I've just earned, fine. And hey, You're not going to find things like that.
No, yeah, I didn't think about that like that.
That is good. That is seriously. And hey, look, and the thing I'd say for you is the fact that you've started off and you've done it for 3 years. It's not like year one you've done this, but you've managed to scale it to a point whereby it's delivering, a decent amount of money for you, and you're generating, for very little effort, if that makes sense. So if you don't mind me asking, obviously, myself, anyone watching this is interested, could you do it remotely? Could you come join me in Vietnam?
Possibly, yes. So, for example, this month I've sourced enough to make a living for the next 3 months, probably.
Oh, wow.
So once I ship my next stock, I'll be covered for the next 2 to 3 months easily. So I don't have to work at all.
And if I clarify by that, you say you're doing a mixture of RA and OA, is that right?
Yes, mainly OA at the moment, just because of the current situation.
COVID. Yeah. If anyone knows COVID right now, 2020 COVID. So obviously we're a bit kind of locked down at the moment. Well, we're telling what's going on. Okay, so very interesting. So you could easily, should we say, work like, 1 week and then have 3 months off and do the rest of it remotely while you're away. So do a bit of OA, RA normally. Interesting, really interesting. And I talk to these people, it's about lifestyle. It's about, you can do things that Amazon can give you opportunities in your life to have a lifestyle that you want, which I think is fantastic. If you're happy to share, what's your tips for success in doing what you do? What's the kind of, how do you make it work?
Tips for success. First, invest, I guess, money into certain tools. Okay. So what changed, for example, for me this year is I've invested some money into deal services. One of them is FastTrackFBA, also known as FastTrackFBA. Not sponsored or anything like that, but I was one of the first beta. I think I was one of the first beta customers as well. And I've never used the service before. I never really thought about anything like that. But then I started using it. I was like, okay. So I had a bigger access to different variety of products, shops, etc. And that really, 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 really helped me. As well as investing my money into a software which helps me monitor my sales and profits. And that really, really helps me. It's Seller Toolkit. It's run by a guy named Norm.
Cool.
And so using that software, it really gave me an insight of how much I make each month, profit, ROI, and my sales. So that way I stay below the £85,000 threshold, and I know exactly how much I make each month. So that way I can plan my future months. So for example, if this month I do less sales or profit, I'll then change my strategy for next month. So for example, if this month I've been averaging 40% ROI, next month I will source different products, meaning higher ROI profit wise, and just to help me achieve my monthly targets in terms of income and etc. So,
Hey, no, it's good. Honestly, thanks for sharing. And if you don't mind me asking, are you literally using deal service, FastTrackFBA? You mentioned it, and then Seller Toolkit. Is there anything else you're using? What other kind of tools do you use? And hey, I don't mind sharing anything.
Tools wise, no, except for normal FBA calculators, etc. But I think everyone else uses it, but I just have my own way of thinking when I source products. So I use a lot of sites like Hot UK Deals, which I think is an absolute goldmine. And I think everybody uses it and everybody knows it. You just have to know how to use that particular tool, for example. If I do my product sourcing, I always look through varieties. So let's say there'll be a product within a certain range, let's say a beauty brown color. I'll look at different shades of brown, and sometimes you'll find little gold mines in there as well. There's no particular, I don't think there is a particular strategy. I just set myself a a margin. I don't trade. I try not to trade below 50% ROI, just simply because I have to maximize everything I sell. So if my revenue is 10,000, I want to get the most out of it rather than just to make a quick buck. And I'm really trying to think of anything in particular. I don't think I do anything special. I use Keeper a lot. This is something that you taught me as well in the past. One of actually golden rule that you've given me is to learn to analyze a 90-day history. And you pick your price. So just because the price is below a certain point now doesn't mean it doesn't go back up, vice versa. So I use Keeper absolutely to a minute. It's an absolutely beautiful tool. Because like I said to you, I buy stock in advance. So I bought stock for this month for the next, in this month for the next 2 or 3 months. And I'm 100% sure the price will not go down. One, because these are seasonal products. Two, they sell so fast and so good. And based on the history, they don't go down. So I use a lot more of my brain this time around because I want to maximize every single opportunity. And like I said, I want to squeeze every little bit of ROI as much as I can. That's really it. It's nothing. I don't think there's any secret. And people shouldn't be afraid to buy certain products just because they look bad at the moment. You just have to understand how it works, see the sellers, analyze the sellers, see how much they've got in stock, and then predict yourself. And the good thing about closing my store at the end of each month or in the middle of each month, just because I reached my limits, is that when I reopen it, the ROIs go back up because people sell out. So when I reopen, I'm like, oh, I'll make more money now. So it's another.
So if I understand, so you're talking about I think you mentioned you're doing 24K over Q4 and then you're doing 60K over the other 9 months a year. So you're dividing that down. I don't know how much that is off the top of my head, roughly 5.4K roughly. Is it do you like put in 5.4K's worth of stock, or how does it work? If anyone is thinking about doing what you do, how do you make that work? How do you stop at 5.4K? Do you go on holiday?
No. So the way I do it, I don't stop putting money and stock into my inventory unless I know, for example, in the reason why I'm so sure about the next couple of months is because I know these particular products will sell really, really fast, which means I'll pretty much I'll reach all my targets just with a few products. I don't really need to sell any other products except for these. So I invested a lot of money into this product. The way it works, I simply look at, for example, this month I was able to do 6,000 just because last month I did 4,000. But last month I did somewhere between 50 and 60% ROI. And this month I'm doing 40%. So the profit margin is a little bit different. So this is why I'm doing a little bit more in sales.
Yeah.
But once I reach £6,000 sales, I'll have to close all my listings for the month and then reopen them the next month. In January, February, March, in January, I closed my listings in the 3rd week. February, I closed my listings in my first week of trading because I reached all my targets. And then in March, on my 2nd week, I had to close all my listings. So 3 months in a row, potentially even this month, I'll have to close all my listings again just because I'm trading under that number. But like we discussed earlier, I put very little time into this and I make enough, probably more than a minimum wage. So
yeah. Well, Michael, you're earning £70 an hour. We worked that already. That's
I know.
You're slightly above the minimum wage, just a little bit.
Yeah, slightly.
Michael, and hey, it's really interesting. 2 things I really take away from that. Number one is the fact that you're talking about understanding Keeper. Learn Keeper like there is no tomorrow, because that gives you the insights into the the product, and I strongly believe that. And anyone watching this, I would just say keeper. And if you think you know keeper, learn it some more, because you don't. Like, I'm learning so much even now, and I've been doing it for years, and I train it every week with new V8s. And then the other one, which is really interesting for you, is the fact that I look at new people starting in Amazon all the time, and the first kind of questions are, right, I'm thinking about starting in Amazon. Okay, I'm thinking about getting this calculator, then this repricer, then this bit of software, and this bit of software, and this bit of software. And I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of cost. And you're like bootstrapping it. Like, that's really good. That's really, really good.
Completely.
Yeah. Like, what advice would you give someone who's like starting out new? Do they need that software? Do you, my God, you're doing 85K a year. Do you have a repricer?
No, I don't. Well, Seller Toolkit kind of offers it, but I don't use repricer. I don't think it's necessary unless you're over the VAT threshold and you have, I guess, thousands of ASINs and you can't keep up with it. I stuck between 45 and 70 ASINs a month. Yeah. And then each month I'll probably run out down to 40. But yeah, so for me, it's very manageable. I know exactly every single product, what they sell for. So I kind of know my stuff. So I don't need to use any extra tools. I don't think you need even any software except for the FBA calculator and Keeper. And then obviously sourcing deals is good, or deal services is really, really helpful, because it opens up, I mentioned that to you earlier, but it opens up the access to so many different stores, because we're so limited. Our brain is so limited. We only think of small scale. Just think of the most popular shops, Boots, which is fantastic for not canceling your orders, and so many. I'll give you an example. So I'm training my cousin to join this business, and his first question is, do I go to Alibaba for sourcing products? I said, no. So my piece of advice is, if you're a new seller, do what we call in trading, paper trading, okay? Just look at certain products, just write down how much it will cost you to buy, and just look on Amazon how much it sells for, what's the lowest price it's ever sold for, and the highest. And then look at how many sellers there were at those particular times. Was it seasonal because of Q4, or was it this? And learn to analyze each and every deal using Keeper, and then you'll see your profits increase. And don't panic if the product didn't sell the first month, it will sell the second month. This is one thing. The panic selling is something that I've stopped doing very, very long time ago. I just don't, I don't get scared away by all these price droppers and things, because I believe I know what I'm doing, and I stick to my margins strictly. However, if you have very little access to money, my rules are just don't go crazy and buy 20-15% ROI products. Stick to a little bit higher ROI products, and variety, of course, because it's key in business. But other than that, in terms of software, just stick to the normal things. Yeah, Keeper. Sometimes, to be honest, you don't even need Keeper. There are other softwares that are similar and free, or you can use, and of course, the calculator. To calculate your profits, otherwise you'll be blind going to the business. But don't be afraid to invest into key software such as profit calculators and all this. That's really, I think, those are the really biggest tips that I would give you.
Fantastic. And hey, really, really interesting. And, from my perspective is to say that, I said it to you, we talk about people doing 6 figures, 7 figures, massive volumes, and you're like, you don't need to. Like, you generally don't. My God, like, if I had known what you were doing, I would have done what you've done. Like, honestly, no joke, I would have done what you've done. I would go back to England. I'd be working like a week every 3 months, and then I would just, I'd work hard for a week, get all my stuff in Amazon, and then I'd go on holiday for 2.5 months, in Asia, and then come back again, and then just repeat. And that'd be it. That'd be my life, and I'd be quite happy and content. On 18 grand a year, you can live a life of luxury out here. Just come talk with me. But it's really eye-opening in the fact that you are looking at the Amazon game in a different way, and I say it to people: work smart, not hard. And you are working very smart. And a measure of working smart is how much do you earn per hour. Your time is finite, and you are earning £70 per hour, which is a damn good amount of money for the amount of work you're doing. So super, super interesting. And hey, look, from me to you, thank you so much. Like, really, thanks for sharing this, because, so many, like I said before, so many sellers think the only option is go big, and there isn't. There are other ways to do Amazon selling that work for your life. And again, come back to your why. So question for you is, what does the future hold? Are you planning on going over the VAT threshold, or are you going to continue doing this? What's your thoughts?
I am planning, of course, because as much I'm enjoying my so much free time, I do want to earn a little bit more. My idea is to, for the next couple of years, hopefully invest a lot more time and money into Amazon, because, as you know, there's so many opportunities with Amazon. It doesn't have to just be OA or private label. It's just such a huge marketplace. You can't avoid it. So there are a lot of opportunities. So I think eventually I will, maybe even this year, or maybe next year, I will definitely consider, because I have some long-term plans, and I'd like to do a bit more traveling, and definitely come visit you. Invest into a property or something like this, or multiple properties. So there's, of course, there's some plans, but at the moment, like I said, I've got so many things on my head and not enough time. So I want to save my time and do other things. And see what the future holds there.
Fantastic. And hey, I think, really good. And, hey, fine. Definitely you want to go with the VAT threshold, not a problem. And that's great. You've decided to stop before it and not, and then make a decision to when you're ready, you're going to step over, which is really interesting. And I'm just going to add that, I really like the way you do it. I like the way you literally sell, turn off listings. Like, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. It's so efficient. It's like, I've done my money. Stop. I'm going on holiday. Really, really good. I love that. Okay, cool. So is there, obviously before we kind of wrap up, is there anything else you want to share, or any advice you want to offer to people maybe who are looking at your journey and going, you know what, I'd like to follow the same journey? Anything you want to share with them?
I think I would advise people not to follow my journey, but the reason why I'll tell you why is my journey is a good way to learn the style, the business really, and then build from that experience. So use my sort of example where I'm very strict with what I sell and staying under the threshold, learn everything. And then once you're ready, go up, don't rush into it. Don't just jump into the business. I know somebody who has jumped and they have panicked a lot and had a lot of nightmares about it. So for me, it's going to be a very smooth transition, because I know everything. I'll prepare myself so much in advance. I'll probably buy all my stock before even doing it. So I'll make sure I'm 100% ready in terms of capital, prepping, etc. There's no need to rush. Just take your time and value your time, and don't cause yourself a headache, anxiety, depression, and all that stuff. Just take it easy, step by step. And I think the way I did it, I think it worked so well for me, because I gained confidence and I know my business inside out, and I'm not worried about going over the threshold now if I had to. Yeah.
Fantastic. And I think, some really good advice there. Interesting enough, I'm going to repeat, don't do what I did, but do what I did. That's just the general moral of the story. But hey, I agree with you. The fact is, stay under that VAT threshold, keep your costs lean. That's something I've really taken away. Value your time, work to a higher margin. That's great. And understand Keeper, understand what products you're going to sell, because once you make that buying decision, you've bought a good product. Even if the market tanks now, it's going to recover. Don't worry about it. Q4 is a great time for you. You talked about that. And you don't need to be running around every single day of every single week sourcing deals. Like, no, you can actually do it 10 hours a week, 10 hours a month. Oh my God, 10 hours a month. That's crazy. And then obviously when you're ready and you're prepared and you're confident in your buying decisions, you're confident in everything else, then you can step over that VAT threshold. And I like that. I think that is really good. So, look, from me, and generally from me, I know we've had these conversations over probably over a year now. Obviously, you were one of the beta testers. And when you first told me what you were doing, I was like, that is super interesting. And I know you weren't even interested in coming and doing this because you're like, I don't have a journey. I don't have a story. It's boring. Yeah. I was like, no, this is really good. So from me, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your journey and telling us about what you do and how you do it. And anyone watching this, there'll be lots and lots of people who are going to be really interested, and obviously from them, thank you as well. Question: if they want to get in contact with you, what's the best way? How can they do it? Is it?
Yeah, they can find me on. Yeah, they'll find me on Facebook, Daniel Gillmore. You can tag my name, and if they want to have, or they have any questions to ask or any advice, tips, please don't ask me for leads. I will not share them. But for any other questions, please do. I'm happy to help. Always have been, and I am very direct and straightforward, but I just like to get the message across quite straight away, So yeah, please get in touch if you have any questions.
Fantastic. Well, you're a man who values his time, so much so that you've built a very efficient business. So I take my hat off to you. Well done. It's really, honestly, from me to you, it's really nice to hear. And thank you so much for sharing. Generally, thank you. So look, Daniel, I just want to say one final time, thank you so much for joining me today on this video. Obviously, I'm really looking forward to getting live. And anyone who's watching this, honestly, thank you from them as well. It's been a real pleasure. So I will leave you to it. I'll let you get back to doing whatever you're going to do, probably nothing Amazon related. But I would just say thank you very much and bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.